can't wait for the new Star Wars, you don't have to. Here it is.
It starts down in the library in research, and then it comes up here to conceptualize, and the art department designs the stuff while I'm writing the screenplay. You know, people come and they say, oh, all this digital stuff, you know, doesn't that make everything phony? Doesn't that make it, you know, it's not true, it's not real. I said, you know, movies aren't true. It's all fake. The story is fake.
Hello?
The characters are fake. The sets are fake. There is no city there. That's not New York City. You go behind it. It's a big piece of wood with a painting on it. And all I'm doing is I've taken it to the next step.
Every time you've seen one of George Lucas's Star Wars movies, you probably wondered, how did he do that? How did he do all those special effects? Tonight, we'll take you behind the scenes of the new Star Wars film, perhaps the most eagerly anticipated movie ever, to show you how he does it.
Why don't you take this guy, put him over here.
All right.
Back in there. Take another one like him and stick him over here.
In a darkened screening room, George Lucas is using a laser pointer to show the 45 computer animators who are working on his new Star Wars movie, the first in 15 years, just how he wants a big battle scene to look.
And keep this guy here.
Okay.
And then have him firing, instead of firing dead off to the right, have him fire over here.
Everybody here works for Industrial Light and Magic, the special effects company Lucas created 2 decades ago to make the first Star Wars. Computer technology has advanced so much since then that the digital effects in the new episode are to the original roughly what talkies were to silent pictures.
It's like sketching with a pencil, and suddenly somebody gives you paint, and you have all these colors. And you've always seen what you've been painting in color, but you've never had the color to do it with. So now, finally, I've got color. And so now I can paint the way I was originally seeing things, and I like that.
So do all the animators at Industrial Light and Magic, ILM. They don't just turn out special effects for Lucas. You name it, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, the tornadoes in Twister, the aliens in Men in Black, they all came out of the computers at ILM. Now, with Star Wars, Lucas is expecting ILM to set a new standard in wow. The work is so complicated and meticulous that each animator is responsible for just 2 seconds of finished film per week. Twice a week, they show their blink-of-an-eye shots to the boss.
Now this is the new Darth Maul jumping off.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
I think that works way better now.
You've seen these before, and
Yeah.
there have been changes, and now this
And
is
now
the
I'm
final
approving the
approval.
changes. Yeah, I love this. See, this was actually shot out in the desert in 150-degree heat.
Now, how did you do those animals? Are they camels that you've
No,
changed?
they're old cyber animals.
Cyber animals? There's a new term. Actually, it's one of the big breakthroughs in the new movie. All kinds of cyber characters completely conjured up from the computer.
That guy's a cyber character. He's not real. The guy that was jumping.
The way they used to make movies, that guy would have been a stunt double. In Lucas's movie, stunt doubles are just created in the computer. And not just doubles. He has several computer-generated lead characters full of personality and, well, humanity. Look at this early version of a scene shot on location and covered with Lucas's editing notes.
Republic credits? Republic credits are no good out here. I need something more real.
Back at the computer, the guy in the hat gets deleted and replaced by a digital character. Only his voice remains.
Public credits? Republic credits are no good out here. I need something more real.
It's 95% a digital movie, which means that it's got digital characters or digital sets or something going on in it, where most movies, you know, it's about 5 to 10 minutes at the most.
And George has said, okay, we're going to make a digital backlot movie.
What is Define that, digital
Well,
backlight.
you shoot a lot of the scenes with the actors with small sets and a lot of blue screens behind them because you're going to enlarge. You're going to do something you can't do any other way.
On the digital back lot, a lightsaber fight can be shot like this and then made to look like this.
Well, like that shot you saw of the landing platform.
Yes.
Well, there's a whole scene that takes, actually there's 2 scenes that take place on that landing platform. Well, you couldn't build that set. I mean, there's just no way you could actually build something like that because it's in a completely fictitious city, a completely fictitious environment. It starts down in the library in research, and then it comes up here to conceptualize, and the art department designs the stuff while I'm writing the screenplay.
Lucas began writing more than 4 years ago. As he did, his team of artists, headed by Doug Chang, started sketching and painting and modeling, working toward the Lucas seal of approval.
I say I need a bunch of creatures. Give me a whole bunch of different creatures. So there's a bunch of artists, and they also have a contest, and everybody submits stuff, and I say, well, I like this, but I like the head of this one. I want to put it on the body of this one. I like this, I like that. I like these features.
Special attention was paid to lead characters like this guy named Jar Jar.
How did those ears come about?
We originally came up with Jar Jar. He had really short dog ears, and George thought he'd be more funny and have more personality with these big elephant-like ears.
Once Lucas approved those ears, the model was sent to ILM and actually scanned into a computer in 3D. That's when Rob Coleman and his team of animators took over.
A whole technology had to be developed to handle the ears because of the interaction of the cloth in the ears with his back. So that had to be invented. That wasn't here before. There was a little inklings of it.
And clothing. Nobody had ever done real clothing before. I mean, realistic clothing that moves.
Yeah.
And he's a major character, so he has to have a real range
Yes.
of expressions and emotions.
We have 400 little sliders that we can change. Everything from cheek puffs to eye blinks to muscle bends to everything that layers into making this character as believable as the live-action character standing beside him. The bar is at the highest when you have live action right on the screen. The audience is watching Liam Neeson, and they've got Jar Jar there. And Liam Neeson is real, 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 real. And then we have to come up and make ours as real, because if we don't, the audience will pick up on it immediately and say, there's something about that that's not, I don't believe that.
So you're out of the movie.
It looks like Roger Rabbit.
Taking it.
You can't have it be like Roger Rabbit. For 90% of the audience, you have to make it so that they just say, I don't know how they did it, it just was a real character.
Some purists worry that Lucas is making his computer characters too real.
People come and they say, oh, all this digital stuff, doesn't that make everything phony? Doesn't that make it, it's not true, it's not real? I said, movies aren't true. It's all fake. The story is fake.
Hello?
The characters are fake. The sets are fake. There is no city there. That's not New York City. You go behind it. It's a big piece of wood with a painting on it. And all I'm doing is I've taken it to the next step. And now I can create digital characters. There wouldn't be any point in creating an actor.
He says he'll never take the step of creating fake humans.
Hey, Jar Jar.
He prefers his digital characters to be originals, not copies.
My turn, good started. My turn.
Just how big a technical milestone will the new movie be? We went to no less an authority than Steven Spielberg, one of Lucas's best friends and biggest customers.
He's now not only taken images, but he's taken skies and clouds and backgrounds and atmospheres and light and shadow, and he's painted a world that would be cost prohibitive to do the old-fashioned way.
And it's not cost prohibitive?
Well, George owns ILM, so I'm not quite sure what kind of a break he's getting from his own company. I have to think if I had made this movie, it would cost at least 4 times what it cost George to make.
That's also because Spielberg's films are bankrolled by Hollywood. Lucas is paying for Star Wars entirely on his own, so he has an almost unprecedented amount of independence and control.
When I make a movie, I pay attention to how much it costs, but at the same time I get to do the things that I want to do without somebody arbitrarily coming in and saying, no, you can't do that. You don't need that in the movie.
That happened to Lucas at the beginning. Studio executives cut 5 minutes from his first hit, American Graffiti. That put a bitter taste in his mouth about Hollywood, and it sounded to us as if his resentment is as strong as ever.
The problem is the studio executives. The problem is that the studios used to be owned by people who cared about the movies. Now they're corporations. They don't love movies. They don't go to movies. They don't know what a movie is. And they do focus groups to try to determine who will go see a movie.
And Hollywood does that.
And Hollywood does that. And they try to change the story to fit what they think what the polling results are. And you can't do that. That's not the way you make movies. Because it is not a business. You know, it's an art form.
An art form Lucas controls completely, while his animators need his approval for every move they make. Another group of artists need him to sign off on every sound effect in the movie. Ben Bird is in charge of all that sound.
Very little of what has been on this film is truly synthesized. We record naturally existing sounds and modify them and process them. I have here my electric shaver and a salad bowl from home. And I discovered one day that if I took the electric shaver and put it in the salad bowl and moved it around, that you could get a very interesting resonance. And kind of like a little musical instrument.
When we saw those big transports come overhead, it had that really weird sound.
That's it.
Very disturbing.
God's razor and a salad bowl.
Today, Bird is putting sound into a sequence called the pod race. Think drag racers in outer space.
How long will you work on a scene, Ben? Like this one with so many layers.
Well, I've been with this scene for 3 years.
He has to build it in layers. First, the dialogue.
Oh, this is gonna be messy. Me not watching.
Then crowd noise. Then announcers.
Start your engines.
And finally, all those engines. And Lucas is still trying to make each individual engine sound just the way he wants.
Boom, 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 boom. And then Annie says, and then
So it's the idea of each one having a separate pulse.
Each one has a separate pulse so that they build on top of each other and they don't collide with each other.
Right.
But lower.
Right.
A few weeks later in London, Lucas gets the final layer of sound as a 100-piece orchestra, an 88-voice choir, and composer John Williams record a rousing score.
I enjoy the music more than anything because I don't have to do anything. I just let him do it. I said, I want something very powerful and very uplifting, and then he writes something brilliant.
The musical score is the only part of the movie over which Lucas does not exercise absolute control.
You're really creating this as you go along, and and the movie's coming out in May.
Well, you do it day by day, moment by moment, layer by layer. It's like watching a painter. You put colors, It's not done until it's done. Until you put the final stroke on it.
He says he won't apply the final stroke until about 2 weeks before the movie opens. That would be suicidal for most filmmakers, but Lucas has his own digital playground, so he can keep directing that battle scene over and over and over.
And this guy back here doesn't actually have to get killed. Oh. He can still be there. We'll kill him off screen.
It's unusual enough for George Lucas to let anyone, including us, behind the scenes of his new movie. When we come back, he takes us behind the scenes of his life. George Lucas is the most famous movie maker you've never seen. He rarely does interviews, and he definitely isn't on the Hollywood party circuit. In fact, he lives and works outside of San Francisco, hundreds of miles away from Hollywood. There's a lot more to George Lucas than we realized. We discovered that he's not a recluse, as some have said, who sits up there doing nothing but work on his futuristic movies. The new Star Wars movie is the first film George Lucas has directed since the very first installment more than 20 years ago.
As you take your helmet off, then you can put a wave to everybody.
But before you conclude that Lucas is entirely focused on his movie, meet the real focus of his life, his 3 adopted children, 17-year-old Amanda, 10-year-old Katie, and 6-year-old Jet.
Did you wash your hands, kiddo? Wait, you want to go wash your hands? Quick. Real quick. When? Okay, let me see. Let me see what...
You drive him to school every day?
I drive them to school every day. I mean, my kids are adopted, and I chose to have my kids, so it's not that they were surprised or I didn't realize what I was getting myself into.
You're Mr. Mom.
I'm Mr. Mom.
He's both Mr. Mom and Mr. Dad. Lucas is a single father, has been ever since 1983, when his 14-year marriage to wife Marcia broke up. They had also been partners. She edited the first Star Wars. Then one day, she walked out.
You were crushed by this.
Yeah, it was very hard. The divorce kind of destroyed me, and it did take me a couple years to sort of unwind myself and come out of it. And then
you didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't.
You were happy, everything was fine, and there was another man, and you didn't know.
10 years younger than I was. It's one of those classic divorce situations.
You know, he told us that the divorce really knocked the legs out from under him.
It did.
It did.
It pulverized. George and Marcia, for me, were the reason you got married, because it was an insurance policy that marriages do work, and that working together and living together and having understandings on many, many different planes does work. And when it didn't work, and when that marriage didn't work, I lost my faith in marriage for a long time.
Ready for takeoff?
When his marriage didn't work, Lucas turned all his attention to Amanda, the baby they had adopted. She lived with him, and he went on to adopt Katie and Jet on his own. He says he has known he was meant to be a dad from the very start.
The moment my first daughter was born, Amanda, it was just like a bolt of lightning hit me. From that moment on, that became my first priority. I didn't think it was going to be, because before that, making films was my first priority, and that was what I was immersed in, and that was my life. But then I realized that this was my life. And then within a year, I was divorced, and it really was my life. So I just simply said, okay, I'm retiring. And I put my companies and making movies and everything on the side.
You didn't retire.
Well,
you reduced.
Everybody called me, said I was retired. Okay, Katie, here's the perfect soft walker, I think.
So everyone who's been wondering why there hasn't been a new Star Wars movie in 15 years finally has the answer. George Lucas has been too busy making home movies.
I love this.
Here's a shot right here. It's like...
He raised those kids as a mother, really.
Francis Ford Coppola, director of The Godfather, was Lucas's professional mentor and remains a sort of older brother figure.
Why did he adopt children? Do you understand?
He wanted to have a family. He saw what my kids meant to me. He realized that was really, in the end, all you have.
He puts his life ahead of his work, always has. And then when they're at school and when they're occupied, George runs a small little kingdom called Lucasfilm.
Only a Steven Spielberg could call that kingdom small.
Can you tick off quickly for us all the different components of your company?
The core company is Lucasfilm, which makes TV shows and films. Lucas Digital, which is Skywalker Sound, which does post-production and sound on lots of movies.
Movies like Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan and Jim Cameron's Titanic.
Iceberg, right ahead!
And those directors bring the film here.
And directors bring their films up here.
Work with your people.
And finish them up here.
Up here is an amazing place called Skywalker Ranch. Lucas bought these 3,000 acres about an hour north of San Francisco with the profits from Star Wars. But the whole place feels old-fashioned. This Grand Victorian is his headquarters. He chose every detail, like the stained glass dome and the redwood in this library, salvaged from an old railroad bridge.
Oh, look at that.
I never did get through all the companies.
Oh, you want to do that real fast?
Let me get through that.
Oh, you just want to finish?
I also have LucasArts, which is a game company. It does video games. And then I have a company, Lucas Learning, that does multimedia for education. And THX, which is a sound system for the home and for theaters. And I've left something out, and I can't remember what it is.
He left out Lucas Licensing, which rakes in the millions from all those Star Wars toys and books. And of course, the crown jewel, Industrial Light and Magic. In all, Lucas has more than 2,000 employees.
Everything I've gotten involved in as a businessman have been things that I've enjoyed and loved in my creative life.
which are you? Are you the creative person more than you're the businessman, or vice versa?
Well, that's hard to separate because I'm the blend.
You are the blend.
I am the blend.
That blend has won Lucas enormous wealth and independence. He's financing the new Star Wars film entirely on his own to the tune of $120 million.
It's one of those things that's ironic in life. I never, ever thought I'd be a businessman. My father wanted me to go into business with him. He ran a stationery store, and I said, I am never, ever going to become a businessman. And he was very upset. It's probably the biggest conflict we ever had.
Lucas was his father's only son, growing up with 3 sisters in Modesto, California. Small town, old-fashioned Americana. He remembers it fondly. So much so, he made a movie about it, American Graffiti.
There's a very wicked 55 Chevy looking for you. Yeah, I know.
You were one of the guys in American Graffiti.
Yeah, I was all the guys in American Graffiti.
All of them. So you were one of those greasers. Oh,
At one point,
cruising.
cruising.
Up and down,
I did a
looking
lot
for
of
girls?
cruising. Yeah, I spent 4 years of my life doing that.
Until a terrible accident 3 days before his high school graduation.
I wasn't just in an accident. I was in an accident that, by all logic, I should have been killed.
Car accident.
A car accident. My car rolled about 8 or 9 times and then wrapped itself around a walnut tree. And by some miracle, when the car was rolling, the seatbelt broke, which it should never have done, and threw me out before it hit the tree. And you go through kind of an experience like that, and you say, well, how did I survive? Why did I survive?
But it did change your life.
It did change my life. I should have been killed at that moment. I wasn't. And so that everything I have after this is a gift, and that I should use it wisely.
After the accident, Lucas developed a ferocious single-mindedness, determined to make it as a filmmaker on his own terms.
When I first met George, I saw somebody with a point of view that was so strong he didn't allow anybody else's point of view to be, when George sees something, he sees it through one set of eyes, and that's it. And thank God for that, but it's also a little bit harder for all of us friends to, get our ideas in there, because George really, like any artist, he has a way of seeing, and it's exclusively his.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker.
You can see Lucas's point of view in his movies. Good is good, evil is evil. Old-fashioned romance, no nudity or bad language.
I've isolated the reverse power flux coupling.
Lucas sees himself as a teacher. One of his friends calls him Yoda in a flannel shirt.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Are you concerned, though, that you might be preaching a little bit?
Well, I'm not sure whether preaching is such a bad thing.
For a movie maker?
For anybody. What I hear most in my life, from my kids anyway, is Dad not another lecture. And I think most parents get that. And so being a parent, being a dad, I can't help but lecture. It's in my nature.
You bow, and then you realize, oh,
Filmmaking is also so much in his nature that, single parent or not, he finally couldn't resist directing another Star Wars film.
and action!
I had put myself in a position where I was totally financing the movie with my own company, and if I wanted to leave at 6 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock, and I could say, we're just going to go another day over schedule, I could do it. I could just say, it's my money, and I'm going home.
Do you know what you remind me of? You remind me of my girlfriends who work and have children. Well, you do. You don't sound like a guy who has children. You sound like one of my women friends who have children.
Well, but I think anybody that has children, I mean, if you have to raise them by yourself, and you love them, I don't see how you could have any other point of view on it.
You don't have to spend much time around him to know that Lucas really loves being a dad. There's just one thing missing.
I've been very lucky with my kids. Unlucky in love, but I'm unlucky with kids.
Okay, you brought it up. Love. Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend. I have a lot of friends that are women.
Did the divorce hurt you so badly that's going to be it, you think?
I don't know. I fell in love a couple years later after that. I fell in love with another woman, and
Linda Ronstadt?
yeah.
You don't have many secrets.
But she was somebody who just didn't want to get married. And eventually I wanted to get married, and I think as you get older, and as you get burned a few times, you either get wary or wiser, I don't know which, but I guess I'm wary and wiser and older. And I have a big life, and I have 3 kids.
And he has very high standards. I mean, he wants Queen Noor or Grace Kelly or someone. She can't be too tall, and she has to be wonderful with her kids. And I'm always saying, George, look at her. She's nice, you know. Let me introduce you. Although he sort of says he doesn't think it's in the cards, I don't really believe that.
But you think he'll fall in love?
I think he will. I'm sure he will. I'm sure she exists.
I don't have the intimacy and the sharing that you can have in a marriage. But I have pretty much everything else.
You told the New Yorker that you cannot direct a movie and be a single parent
Yes.
at the same time.
Well, now I've done it.
You've done it. Explain that.
I brought them with me when I made the movie. They hung around on the set. Katie was in the wardrobe department. Amanda was in the makeup department. Jet rode the camera dolly every day, and he loves the special effects and things. So they all could be a part of it. So I was able to finally do it.
Okay, cut!